Hi, Miss Small. Merry Christmas.
The meeting of the Avoyelles Parish School Board, Tuesday, December the 17th, 2024, will come to order. Please stand as Mr. Dexter Compton leads us in the prayer, and Miss Jill the pledge.
Dear Lord, we thank you for the gift of this day. We thank you for the gift of life. And we thank you for the gift of Jesus Christ, which we celebrate in this season. Now, Lord, we ask your blessings upon this school system, those who are served by it, those who are laboring therein, and that you would continue to lead and guide us in our efforts to make our community, this state, and this country, and this world a better place through the field of education. Now we pray that you would bless this board, give them your divine wisdom to make decisions that first and foremost glorify you and benefit those who are served in the system. And Lord, we'll be careful to give you the thanks and the praise. We ask it all in the name of Jesus Christ we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Item number 1, recommendation to approve the adoption of the minutes of the regular board meeting held Tuesday, November the 19th, 2024, as printed and mailed to the board members and published in the Weekly News, which is the official journal of the board. What's the pleasure?
I move that we adopt the minutes.
Moved by Mr. Robbins, seconded by Mr. J. Any further discussion? Any comments? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. The ayes have it, the motion passes. Item 2, resolution of respect to the late Cheryl Lynn Egan's, school secretary. Ms. Jill?
Resolution of respect to the late Cheryl Lynn Egan's, retired school secretary. Whereas Cheryl Lynn Egan's, who was retired secretary from Bunkie Middle School, has been called from this life. Whereas Ms. Egan's began as a teacher aide at Bunkie Middle School from August 20th, 1972 until November 21st, 1974. Then she was appointed secretary at Bunkie Middle School
I don't know why it's doing that.
effective November 22nd, 1974, replacing Linda G. Smith. Ms. Egan's retired on October 26, 1995. She's devoted 23 years of service to this educational system, and her passing is a great loss to the school system. Therefore, be it resolved that the Avoyelles Parish School Board hereby expresses its deepest, sincere regret in the loss of this beloved former employee. And be it further resolved that this resolution be spread upon the official minutes of the Avoyelles Parish School Board, and that a copy be transmitted to her family, and I so move.
Second.
The motion has been made and seconded that we send a resolution of respect to the family. Any comments from any board member?
Yeah, I'd like to say something. Miss Higgins was the secretary at Bunkie Middle while I was a teacher over there. Really nice lady, very helpful at the school and to all the people in the community, and I'm sure she's going to be very much missed by that community of Bunkie.
Anybody else? Anybody in the audience? Okay, all in favor of the resolution say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. The ayes have it. The motion passes. The resolution will be sent to the family. Item number 3, recognition of Student of the Month. Ms. Superintendent?
Thank you, thank you.
Thank y'all for being here on the week we get out for Christmas. You never quite know what kind of a crowd we're gonna have this week, right? Can you see what my computer's doing? Okay, I need her to find out why it keeps going on and off while we do Student of the Month. We're excited to have y'all here tonight. We are excited to honor you as our Students of the Month. We will start with Bunkie Bella. We will start with Bella tonight, and that is Mr. Chris.
Miss Braylyn Holtz.
Come on up, darling.
Ms. Holtz is in the first grade. Her teacher is Miss Connie Ducote. Favorite subject is math. Academic accomplishments, Braylyn is an honor student. She makes straight A's on all her academics. She has scored well above Dibble's assessment. She is advanced in math, I-ready reading, and math again. Hobbies include Braylin likes playing with her brothers, and she enjoys watching YouTube videos. But her favorite thing to do is homework. Future plans include Braylin plans to be a dentist when she grows up. Congratulations.
Would that be Mr. Leon Holtz's granddaughter or not? It is?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Great.
Tell us again.
Great niece.
Great niece.
I talked with him. He was a principal at that time.
Okay. Concord Elementary, Mr. Day.
Olivia Valdez.
Okay, look, Mom. How about you meet me right here? Come.
Olivia's in the 4th grade. Her teacher is Linda Carpenter. She enjoys unique learning systems, activities in reading and math. She's an honor roll student. Olivia enjoys watching Daniel Tiger's Neighborhood, playing on the iPad, and putting together large floor puzzles. For the future, her parents just want her to be happy no matter what she chooses. Congratulations, Olivia.
Good job.
Okay, now we have Mr. Lynn. You have Lafargue Elementary.
We have Roman Edwards. Roman's teachers are Miss Sarah. His favorite subject is science. His hobbies include playing on the tablet, watching TV, playing outside, feeding his animals, and playing pickleball. His future plans, he wants to go to New York. He wants to help people in need. He plans to go to college, and he wants to be a farmer. Congratulations, Ramon.
Thank you. Marksville Elementary, Miss Amy.
Student of the month for Marksville Elementary is Hunter Lee. Hunter is in the 4th grade. His favorite subject is social studies, ELA, and math. His accomplishments are student of the month and perfect attendance. His hobbies include playing baseball, Xbox, playing football, helping around the house, and hanging out with his baby sister. His future plans is going to college and becoming a football player for the Baltimore Ravens. Congratulations, Hunter.
Thank you. Plocheville, Mr. Ricky.
Student of the month for Plocheville is Lillian Sons. Lily is in kindergarten. Teachers are Miss Bailey Lemoyne. Favorite subject is math. Academic accomplishments. Principal's list for first and second 9 weeks. She achieved above benchmark on the middle of the year Dibbles test. Her hobbies: play with my sisters, read, drawing lots of pictures. Her future plans: I want to be a doctor when I grow up. Congratulations.
Thank you. Riverside, Mr. Ricky.
Student of the month for Riverside is Mr. Tucker Henderson. Tucker is in 6th grade. His teachers are Miss Amber and Miss Samaria. Favorite subject is math. Academic achievements: 4th grade mastery in ELA on LEAP, 5th grade mastery in science on LEAP. Hobbies: Tucker likes to play cops and robbers with his siblings, play video games, and jump on a trampoline. He also likes to draw and read and write. His future plans: Tucker plans to go to college and become an author. He also wants to have a YouTube channel. Congratulations.
Okay, Avoyelles High School, Mr. Key.
All right, Mr. Odin Russ. He's in the 10th grade at Avoyelles High. His teachers are Miss Kenesha Jacobs, Miss Jody Malonzo, Mr. Chet Broussard, Mr. Ryan Grimion. His favorite subjects are U.S. history and agriculture. His achievements, he has a 4.0, FFA Vice President, National Beta Club, Interact Club, FFA Employment Skills Contest of 2024 and 2025, First District 8, 2023, First District 8, 2024. Second, Area 3, 2024. AB Honor Roll, the track team. His hobbies are volunteer fire department, lifting weights, FFA, woodworking, and track. His future plans, to go in the National Guard, attend LSU, and major in nursing. Then use the medical degree to become a trauma nurse, and also work at St. George Fire Department. And his parents are Miss Kelly and Mr. Eric West.
Bunkie Magnet High, Ms. Jill.
Bunkie Magnet High Student of the Month is Mr. Dominic Palermo. Dom is in the 11th grade. His teachers are Coach West, Coach Gabe, Coach Reagan, and Coach Hillman. His favorite subjects are math and weightlifting. His academic achievements, FCA, Beta, football, baseball, football team captain, and he's running for Beta president. His hobbies are football, baseball, and hunting. Future plans, he wants to be a criminal justice attorney. Congratulations, Dom.
Okay, LaSasse, Mr. Robin.
Xavier Young. Xavier is an 11th grader at LaSasse. His teachers are Miss Humble, Miss Lacey, Miss Ryland, and Miss Ledoux. His favorite subject is technical writing, and his academic achievements in school activities are scoring mastery on his LEAP test. His favorite hobbies are football and basketball, and his future plans are to become a traveling registered nurse. Congratulations.
Thank you. And Miss Letitia, you have Marksville High School.
Marksville High School Student of the Month is Braylon Bazile. Braylon is in the 12th grade. His teachers are Mr. Joel DeSale, Mr. Judd Dupree, and Miss Tina Anderson. His favorite subjects, math and English. His academic achievements, school activities, he's a member of Senior Beta and Tiger College Club. He maintains AB Honor Roll. He is a member of the 2024 State Champions Marksville High School Boys Basketball Team. He keeps up with his academics, sports, and his part-time job. His hobbies includes basketball, working, and listening to music. His future plans, he plans to either enter into the Army National Guard or the U.S. Navy. Congratulations.
So exciting. We've got a lot of medical professions in the room tonight. That's exciting for us. If y'all will sit tight with us just a minute, we're going to do our Teachers of the Month, and then we're going to ask you to all go with Miss Amy, and we're going to take some pictures in the back. So we will move on now to
Item number 4, recognition of Teachers of the Month. Ms. Thelma?
Good evening, everyone, and happy holidays. This is our last meeting before we enter into the 2025 school year. So we're wishing for great things to continue and wonderful things to happen in the year 2025. So to recognize our Teachers of the Month, beginning with Bunkie Elementary Learning Academy, Mrs. Caitlin McCoy.
y'all.
He's a hard worker. What else?
Okay.
He hustles too, I ain't gonna lie.
Our department, and he's in high school. Good for him.
But I joined it when I was 17.
So did my dad.
He's in it with us. He hustles too. Him and
love that.
His brother just come.
I love seeing it. Thanks for checking your phone. Thanks for checking your phone, you and Chuck. Like, I didn't know how to pronounce the name, so I asked him. He wouldn't look, and you wouldn't look either.
Did any of you leave your keys? Yeah.
Ask Miss Dawn. Miss Dawn she had keys earlier,
Are
didn't
they
she?
yours, Katina? No, ma'am. Okay. No, Becky took all that.
Then I'm gonna go far, they'll need them.
Chris said,
Claudia will send them to the back.
ask Miss Dawn.
Yeah.
Courtesy Ford, it's a Ford,
Somebody will still be here later.
Yeah, they can go nowhere, right?
And if not, just bring them back.
Okay.
Okay, now for the information items. Item number 5, the sales tax report for the month of November. Ms. Jessica.
For the month of November, our sales tax collections totaled $925,792.43. That's $27,499.93 less than November of last year, so we're down by about 2.88%. Last month, we had an increase of 2.18%, so that's kind of the difference between month to month. Our motor vehicles this month total $167,730.29. That's $5,140.06 less than November of 2023. We didn't have any audits in November, so to date we have $18,747.08 in audit collections. Our fiscal year comparison, to date we've collected $4,684,996.63. So we're still running a little low compared to 23-24. We're right at 1.28% decrease, but a 6.05% increase of 22 to 23. Calendar to date, we've collected $10,417,318.48, which is a 2.67% increase calendar year 24 to 23. Any questions? All right.
Any questions? Thank you, Ms. Jessica. Item 6, monthly maintenance report for expenditures. Mr. Ricky.
I didn't see anything. It was pretty light this go round, but I didn't see anything that stood out.
Anybody else? Any other comments? No?
Light, pretty good thing.
Very light.
All right. Item number 7, discussion on investing the lease money back into the lease areas to increase our opportunity for profit. Mr. J.
So a couple of us have been approached by some of the police jury members who are running on a deficit this year in their budget, and they were asking about the Old River School Board area getting some help with culverts and rock. And I told them that's not necessarily in our budget to do that. But my concern is that if they could get to the point, and I think that is the school board area where we get the most funds from. That's where all the people are, all the camps are. My concern is that we might get to the point where they could say, well, we'll just abandon the road. We'll make it not a public road anymore, and then we'd have to spend a lot of money for our people to get to their leased areas. So I didn't want to ask for anything, just bring it up that may be something we need to have to look at in the future, maybe reinvesting. Like if you have rental property, you have to reinvest in it every now and then to continue to get that. But that may be something as we move forward, we may have to have a discussion on later. And you can talk to, your people about it, your police or whatever, and ask them about it. It's just something that somebody came to Keith, I think,
And I went rode down, I'm not cutting you off.
No.
I went rode down there last week and stuff, and it really needs some attention. They have been cleaning up, it looked like, as far as garbage and stuff. Looks like that's cleaning up, it's a positive thing. I don't think it would take a whole lot, but I think some help with us and the jury, we could, get it together, maybe have a meeting with them or something. But it needs some help.
But if we are making a profit on it, and anytime you have property that you're leasing, you have to reinvest eventually. You have a rent house, you gotta put a roof on it every 20, 30 years, so we continually collect money for this, and we are collecting a good bit on this one, and never put any back. I think in the end, it could come back to bite us.
That's all. Mr. Robbins?
You're talking about like from the bridge at Old River down to the back.
I don't know what we haven't discussed specifics on how much they want. Obviously, we're not gonna put a brand new road, but
Right,
I'm just saying, I'd hate for them the jury to decide one day, hey, we're gonna give this back to the school board, and y'all maintain it. We're not gonna do it, and we end up having to put a lot more for our leasees to get to this place. So it may be worth looking into and discussing, what they wanna do and what we can do as far as reinvesting into this property, some of the money we've taken in. That's all.
Anybody else got any comments?
Yeah, well, just one. A while back, I suggested, because oftentimes whenever we discuss these properties, the public, they aren't aware of what we're talking about. But I think it would be very helpful, or at least informative, if we was to have like a visual of what we're discussing, or what you guys are talking about, your constituents came to you about, so that the public can see where these dollars are going towards. So that's just my only stance with that.
I'll agree. And I think when it starts, nobody's reached out to me about it, but I think where it starts is where we have the FFA properties.
Yeah.
And it starts at the bridge, and it goes straight down there, and so we get a lot of money, $50,000 or so. Miss Mary might be able to answer that question, dedicated toward the FFA stuff, correct?
At least 50.
Yeah.
At least 50 or more, so it may be an investment in the future. We also have, I think, some properties to clean up down there too, that may fall into our lap too, so it's something we need to think about, I guess.
All right. Any other comments? Thank you, Mr. J. Personnel changes, Ms. Thelma.
All right, you have the list of personnel changes, that's only a few, transfers, resignations as far as appointments, and also the list of, full-time subs, retirees, and vacancies.
Any questions for Ms. Thelma? Thank you.
No.
All right, items 9, 10, and 11 are our consent items. We have an approval for a lease. We have the termination of some leases and in the overnight travel. We'll just take one motion to approve them all in a second, and you're at liberty to discuss any of them or whichever ones you'd like. Mr. Robin?
I'll make that motion that we adopt consent items 9 through 11.
I'll second it if there's no questions.
Okay. The motion has been made by Mr. Robin, seconded by Ms. Jill. Anybody have a discussion on any particular one or questions? Okay. Hearing none, all in favor say aye at the tap of the gavel.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. The ayes have it, the motion passes. Your action items would be number 12. Recommendation to approve the revised policy file BCBD, the agenda preparation and dissemination on striking out the verbiage about the 2-time maximum of agenda items. Miss Amy?
Okay, so we had redid this policy, when I was president, and the 2-time is something we need to look at again, because I think there's some holes in the policy of, for example, that we just had come up with the traffic tickets. So our policy says a school board member may not place an item on the agenda no more than twice during a calendar year once the item has passed or failed. Well, that says a school board member. Whenever the mayor called or somebody private to put something on the agenda, how does that fall into there? Or when the DA says you did something procedurally, you need to bring it back. So I think there's a gray area that we need to decide on what it is we're looking at, because we even had a request recently for the city to come back again. I don't know what it's for, But if it comes back again, like, it doesn't say, it says a school board member may not place, but it doesn't say the people at large. So we need to decide, I think, as a board, a consensus of what, if there needs to be more meat on this, or we need to get rid of it, because I don't want it to be something that we cannot fix because of a policy that we have put two limits on.
Well, Miss Amy, I know I, as president, I guess I kind of felt like it was subjects, you know, the item itself. Like the cameras came up the third time, and I thought it should have been 2, and that was it. But I didn't have a choice on the third one. They said we made an error. You ought to put it on the agenda.
Correct.
That's the only exception I've ever made. Now, we have some coming up tonight for the second time, either because board members were absent or we had a different feeling on the funding. So it's up to the board if it needs to be the subject itself, or, I mean, you said a board member. So that would be different if the mayor would come, or the council, or somebody else.
Mr. Chairman.
It's up to y'all. Okay, Ms. Gill first, and then,
I don't want to spend a lot of time on this, but I just think if I had to vote, I would say to strike it, and this is why. There's things that happen. I just feel like we can't tell people we can't discuss the subject because we talked about it twice already. If something big changes about it, that needs to be addressed. I see why we have it, and I don't disagree with it. But there's so much fine print to that really, really limits us. I think if there is an extenuating circumstance that takes place, I don't feel like we can tell the public or anybody we can't address this because we've already talked about it. I don't think that's an option as public officials. That's my opinion. Do what you want with it.
Mr. Robin.
And I kind of agree with you, but at the same time, you came up with something you said twice. And I guess that's kind of what the rule we've been following. And so, you know, it shouldn't be school board member, it should be an agenda item. And I understand there are emergencies that come up and problems and situations, you know. But we talked about the two-time rule. You know, I don't know.
For the item itself.
For the item.
But that's,
no matter who brings it up.
It's whatever, it's your pleasure.
But it's up to you.
I think we almost need some kind of clarity, because I don't want it to come back up again and then we say, like, what are we going to do about today? When the mayor calls and says, I need to be on the agenda, you know, we talked about it.
Well, Amy,
I don't want us
that
to
is, we have a policy about placing items on an agenda. You don't call the day of the meeting and say, that's the reason for that.
No,
okay?
I know, but it's coming, so what are we going to do? I don't want us to get into a situation that we're unclear about.
And two, you know, I guess the whole thing dealt with the properties. When we went over some properties and they had people coming back to back and tying us up in meetings. So I understand that, and you know, on the other hand, you know, I understand where Jill's coming from. I hate to tie down and lock people out, but at some point in time, we got to make a rule, and it's up to this group to make the rule. I don't know.
And back on that same topic, I don't know what the subject was. It was not disclosed to us. Now, had it been on a road upkeep or something, when I asked for any other comments, they could do it on public comments. They could come in and say, and give their opinion and all. But we do have a policy for putting items on the agenda. The agenda goes out the Thursday before. We try to stick to that pretty, you know.
I'd maybe
Ms.
like
Gill?
to ask legal, whether that be local or Mr. Geis, to just have a quick, I don't want to spend a lot of money or time on it, but to have a quick look at it and see if we can change the verbiage maybe. Would that be sufficient to everybody? That's kind of a middle ground? Like we, you know, allow somebody else to bring it up under extenuating circumstances, or if there's something new brought to light. But we can't keep talking about the same thing over and over just to be redundant.
And maybe that's what needs to be added, extenuating circumstances like legal last time, to save us from not following a policy.
Why don't you let us get in touch with Forethought and see what options they have for this policy, and we can bring this back to you in January, and then you can take a look at maybe some options, and maybe that will help us craft what your will is.
That would, everybody pretty much in agreement with that?
Everybody?
I think
I'm
so.
good with that.
So we just.
Okay. We're not gonna do any action, Ms. Superintendent, if you're gonna do that.
We're gonna just get
We
more
won't put it in the form of
information.
a motion.
Yes, sir, we will see what forethought sends us.
We
Can
can do
y'all
that,
send
Mrs.
it to
Derrick,
me?
or we need to make, I mean, we just let it lie?
No, I mean, I think y'all do need to look into it and see what you wanna change it to.
But as far as a motion or non-motion, just let it lie and move on to the next agenda item?
Table it if you want.
So we need to do something one way or
I'm
the
gonna
other?
that we table it till the superintendent gathers more information on the
All
topic.
right.
So
Moved
January
by
will be
Mr.
the second
Robbins.
time, so we have to make a decision in January.
Yeah,
But when does the calendar year
Or
start?
change it.
New calendar year, new calendar year. But is it fiscal year, you know?
we tabled it to the next.
Yeah, we don't
meeting.
even know.
It's tabled
All
to
right,
the
we have a
next
motion
meeting.
by Mr. Robin. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Ricky. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. The ayes have it, the motion passes. We can then handle it on the December meeting, we can make a motion as to one way or the other, whatever they suggest. That's when we'll handle it.
Well, Derek, when we have to take it off the table,
Yeah,
when she
probably.
gathers the information, when we have to take it off the table, it wouldn't be just another item on the agenda, right? Action item? If we just made a motion to table it.
Well, so we're tabling it to January, so put it on January.
Yeah, I would put it on the.
Oh, you just put it on the January agenda.
So table to January.
Normally, we
Okay.
do that, I think, take it off the table.
Normally we take it off the table, but
Right.
whatever. Okay, we'll take care of it.
Okay, but Derek will
next
help me
one?
get all that
Second on
figured
that
out.
one, The second will be-
Recommendation to approve the general fund revision of the report on the monthly general fund 24-25 year-to-date, with comparisons. Ms. Mary?
Okay, as you'll see before you, the financials for the general fund as of October 24, with comparisons to the prior year. So you see that there's a difference of about $368,000 to the good. This is your assets and liabilities. Any questions on this? All right, moving along to the revenue expenditure report. What I did was I combined the financials for general fund and your comparisons that I normally present to you monthly. So if you, yes. Okay, so the first sheet, if you look at the second column that's labeled revised December budget, okay, those are the new numbers that we calculated to replace the original budget. So those are all the revenues, and the reason for the changes is because the original budget was prepared in April before the year end, and we had firmer numbers. And, of course, the MFP letter wasn't out yet, and things of that nature, student count.
Ms.
So,
Tudor, one question. Miss Mary online says, other 16 section earn 11.2 and it's adjusted to 21. Then under it says facility rentals and we increased 11.2. What is that?
okay, so the other 16 section earnings are, like farmland that we rent out.
And we
that's what that
projected it
is.
to be 11.2 and we collected 21.
No, that we revised the budget to 21.
21. Okay.
Yes.
And then the facility rentals, where does that come from? The 11.2.
That's probably what belongs in that. It's probably the line item that belongs, like the original budget was 11.2, and it probably should have gone in the other line. So I'll look at that.
Okay.
Yeah. So, any other questions? And of course, the interest income was greater last year. We project the $703,000 in interest. Last year we had over $1 million that we collected, but we're not sure what the interest rates are going to be. So we'll see. We'll revise that as we go. Okay, so that's the revised budget, and the revenues are projected to be $45,995,838. Okay, and then at the same time we can look at the variances between the 2 years. October of 24 and versus October 23, and you'll see a difference of about $69,000 in revenues. So any question on the revenues? Okay, then we look at the expenditures. So, let's see. I have that ready. I can't-
December budget is negative $103, right?
Yeah, okay, here it is, I'm sorry. Yes, the total expenditures are pretty much in line with the revenues, and you're looking at a small deficit of about $100. So, any questions on that?
No, ma'am.
Okay, I'm not sure if y'all wanna vote on each one separately, or.
We do, they're
Okay.
separate items.
We
Okay,
need to do it
so,
separately.
That's
Mr.
So you need a
the
motion
budget
to
I'll make
accept.
that
update
motion.
and revision.
All right, moved by Mr. Robin,
I'll second it.
and we have a seconded by Ms. Jill, that we, accept this recommendation for this, the general fund revision. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. The ayes have it, the motion passes. Okay, on item 14, Ms. Mary, it's the budget revisions for special maintenance for the LaSasse and for food service.
Correct, those are the figures, okay, special maintenance fund, you see budgeted revenues of 1.5 million, expenditures of 1.4, a projected surplus of 102,000. Any questions on that?
And that's in maintenance?
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
So the 102,687 is the surplus?
A surplus, yes.
Or the, yeah.
I don't know how she busted through y'all, so.
Any, questions on that? Okay, then we have the LaSasse budget, which you have your, year-to-date numbers as well as your, proposed, budget amendment, that would be in the last column. You have your total revenues of 3.7 million, and if you go to the next page, total expenditures, 3,451,000, less transfers of $146,622 proposed surplus, and you'll see the beginning and ending fund balances there. Any questions here?
So are we voting on each one of these separate?
These three
No.
together.
All three together?
Yeah. Okay, and now the food service budget. We have, total revenues of 8.9 million and total expenditures of 9.3 million and a projected surplus of 32,000. And there's about 9 million fund balance in that fund.
You need a motion?
Yep.
Mr. Chairman, I'll move that we accept the recommendation to approve the budgets for the maintenance, LaSasse, and food service.
I'll second it.
Who seconded it?
Jill.
Ms. Jill. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. The ayes have it, the motion passes. Thank you, Ms. Mary. Item 15 is a recommendation to approve the AIA agreement with Wayne Coco for the purchase of replacing 3 school kitchen hoods to be paid for out of the main school food service fund. Ms. Welch?
Yes, so we're looking at replacing, right now, the Bunkie Elementary hood, Marksville High hood, and Avoyelles High hood. If y'all been in the kitchen, y'all know that they're really, really, really old. So I think that this would be a nice upgrade to our kitchens. And I would be working with Mr. Wayne and subcontractors and that kind of stuff. It is a little complicated, but I think it's time that we look at improving that.
Mr. President, I'll make a motion to approve the AIA agreement with Mr. Wayne Coco for the purposes of replacing the 3 kitchen hoods at the 3 schools listed.
A second.
Go ahead.
I'll second that.
The motion has been made by Ms. Jill and seconded by Mr. Keith. This is only for the contract with Mr. Coco. It's not not for the purchase of the hoods. It's just for his contract.
Yes, just for the
Okay.
contract, right.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. The ayes have it. The motion passes. Thank you, Ms. Jenny. You have the next one?
Yes.
Recommendation to approve the same agreement with Wayne Coco for the purchase of constructing a child nutrition warehouse addition to be paid for out of main school food service fund.
So that would not be paid out of the school food service fund, that would be coming out of our Fund 135, which is our local funds that we have separated. The reason being is that federal funds can't purchase a building. So that was the same fund that we used to build the warehouse in the beginning. So that needs to be corrected. This is an addition that we would like to put on the child nutrition warehouse. We know that non-congregate feeding is here to stay, which means that we've had to purchase a lot of trailers. So we would like to be able to add on to the end of our warehouse so we can keep all of our equipment in that one area, because we know it's something that we'll be doing hopefully for a very long time.
And Ms. Welch, is this, correct me if I'm wrong, this is the kind of funding where you have to have an architect?
The amount is going to require an architect of
Okay.
what it's gonna cost.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
I'll make that motion, Mr. Chairman.
I'll second
Okay.
it.
The motion has been made by Mr. Robin, seconded by Ms. Jill. Ms. Superintendent, did you get the
I did,
verbiage that we need to change?
yes. We will get with Ms. Welch and be sure we have it worded right.
Okay. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. The ayes have it, the motion passes. Thank you, Ms. Welch. Number 17, recommendation to accept the letter of termination for the intergovernmental agreement between the town of Simsport and the Avoyelles Parish School Board for the use of the former Simsport Elementary School. Wasn't that the old high school?
No, that was the old
Dunbar.
elementary.
Oh, elementary.
Okay, elementary, and also the elementary baseball field. We need to have both of those in the same motion.
That is correct.
I'll make
Mr.
that
Ray,
motion,
do you
Mr.
need to clarify anything, or,
I'll make the motion.
I'll second it.
okay, the motion has been made by Mr. Robin, seconded by,
I'll second it.
who seconded that?
Adams.
Adams.
Mr. Ricky.
No, they added it.
Any further discussion?
So,
Superintendent?
I do want to say, the attorneys are revising the actual agreement to, the actual termination agreement, because this one that you have doesn't include the Riverside baseball field, but it was a part of that original lease, so they're redoing the termination agreement. That's why you're hearing those words added to the motion. And we need to be sure that we spell out those additional words, so that when we get it, it's just a matter of signing it.
Miss Amy?
Do we know condition of the building from passing? It looks pretty rough.
Bad.
It's poor.
Bad, bad.
Yes, that's a kind way of saying it.
And we've picked up insurance on it since they have not.
As soon as you approve the termination of the agreement, we will add it to our insurance.
Well, we don't.
Really?
We don't insure that building?
That,
Yeah, we insure every facility that we have.
do we?
Well,
Yeah.
that one, in the contract, they had to, give us, well, I think it was $1 million policy of liability down there. And that's one of the reasons that they had to cancel the contract, because they can no longer
Pay the
provide-
insurance.
But they're giving us a liability policy, but we provide insurance for all those
Yeah,
facilities.
that's two separate things. One's on the structure.
One's property and one's liability.
Yeah.
Right.
I think that is what, they spell that out in this termination piece. Y'all saw those big capital
did.
letters.
They did.
Yeah.
Like several
So,
times.
we will, several times. We will get with Blake and be sure we have covered what we need to cover.
All right. Any further comments? All in favor of the motion for number 17 to accept the letter of termination, say aye at the tap of the gavel.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Ayes have it, the motion passes. Okay, Mr. Wright. Number 18, recommendation to accept the low bid of Gibco in the amount of $14,052 to correct the drainage issue at Marksville High School on either side of the main building with the trees that were recently cut. I guess the root system had a lot to do with this. It would be paid by indirect cost. Mr. Ray, you got anything to add?
If you're familiar with Marshall High School, you know when you come in the front door and you pass that little crossing hallway, and then you go right past that, there's double doors to the left and double doors to the right. That's where the issue is. It's been going on a long time. We had two massive oak trees that were in there. But it's just, there's no drainage out there. And we've got to fix it. They had to sandbag, Ms. Kristen, I mean, it was, I don't know how we didn't fill the halls full of water this last time. Of course, that was a huge rain. But that is something we desperately need to fix. But I had to get the trees out of there first. so that now we could get in there and do the other work.
Mr. President,
That
I'll
was
make
leaking during consolidation, when we first consolidated. That's how long that's been.
Oh, okay.
Mr. President, I'll
Mr.
make a
Rick.
motion to approve the drainage, the low bid of Gibco in the amount of $14,052 from Marksville High School.
Okay, Ms. Jill made the motion, seconded by Mr. Ricky.
I got something to do.
Okay, so I'm gonna answer any further discussion, Mr. Ricky?
This is the same thing we talked about during the needs assessment. I don't know if this has been a few years back. We approved it to do and it never got done.
Never got done.
Yeah.
That's about right.
But because I actually went right after that and looked at it to see if putting drains would work, and we said yes, but they never did get it done.
This is
But it's been neat.
one of those things that you just can't wait on. You gotta do.
Any further discussion?
I'll second the motion.
I think.
Okay, we have a second. No, Jill, okay. Ms. Jill and then Ms. Amy?
No,
Ricky said.
Guidry and Adams.
All right, any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Ayes have it, the motion passes.
I'll leave Ms. Kristen.
Item 19,
Now you have to wear a red shirt.
recommendation to accept the low bid of Russ Construction of $14,358 for replacing the roof on the Fifth Ward Community Center funded by indirect cost.
I will say this, Mr. Keith brought this up last time, that is supposed to be Russ Carpentry. I just didn't realize this was gonna be coming up again. But anyway, it is Russ Carpentry, that's Eric Russ. And it's just what we talked about last week, that, when you ride up there to the Fifth Ward, to the school, and where all those booths are up in there, that side of that building is what we're talking about. There's kind of an old story about how that was fixed and taken off and put back and re-screwed and all this. But the bottom line is, it is raining in there. So it's back up for y'all's consideration here.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make that motion.
Can I ask a question, Mr. President?
Yes?
Mr. Wright, have you been there to see it?
Oh, yes, yes.
And can I ask everything else aside, can I ask your opinion? Does it, if we don't replace it, is it, I mean, obviously it's not a cosmetic issue, is it something rotting, is it, I mean,
It really is leaking in there badly. It really is. When you walk in there and you look at the ceiling tiles, it's
Okay.
pretty self-evident when you look at it. One of the problems that happened evidently whenever this other work was done was it had started rotting in some of those wood trusses. And I suspect that could be happening. Now, to tell you that for sure until you pull that off, I can't really tell you that for absolute positive, but I can just tell you this, we've done everything that I know of to stop the leaks, but it is just,
too far gone.
in my opinion, and in fact, two of the people that gave us the bids wouldn't even give us a bid on replacing the screws and putting new sticky tape in there, because they said, you're just wasting your time.
All right, we have a motion by Mr. Robin. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by Mr. Keith. Any further discussion?
Yeah, prior to them entering into that lease, was this building accessible? Did they walk through it? And
I don't personally, when did they start leasing this? I don't know.
a couple of years ago.
Way before me.
Probably about 4 or 5
Yeah.
years.
Yeah, we was on the board.
2018.
Yeah.
18.
Yeah.
Okay. I wasn't here then, so, I mean, I can't honestly tell you what it was like. I'm not exactly sure which year in there, because it was also before I got here, when they actually tore it all off and put it back on.
When they had the ice storm.
Okay, so,
When they had the ice storm and we collected damage of
It-
money.
It was so full of
Was that not long?
junk and tires and
Oh,
stuff
okay.
like that.
Mhm.
You know, once we got all that cleaned out, then no sooner than they inhabited it, we got the ice storm. And that's what did a lot
And
of
then
damage.
we collected money from the insurance.
Mr. President, I'd just like to say on the record, I would like to see us work towards getting rid of some of these facilities that aren't housing and teaching
Where they
students.
don't all end up like the one
And
in Simsport.
without
I
starting a
understand,
thing,
and
I
I
just
think that's the
wanna put that on the
plan.
record.
I think they do plan to buy that. I hope so. I hope it
Soon-
works
sooner
where they can do
hopefully
that
than later.
quickly.
Okay.
Any further discussion?
So, yeah, so is this stated anywhere in the contract that we had to do further upkeep or renovations to it? I mean, if it is, I must have skipped over it.
It's a gray area.
Mr. President, I'm just gonna, since we already been through this once, I'm gonna say again for the record of why I am not in favor of it. As an elected official and fiduciary of public funds, it's not our money to give a private entity. Fifth Ward is a private entity. They are doing well. I'm very happy for them. I am not doubting that roof is not leaking. We did it the first time on an insurance claim during Hurricane Laura. We projected it to be $65,000, it said. Ended up costing us $97,515 to repair the roof. Same verbiage, same Red River Charter, paid $3,800 a month lease. When they moved into the building, they put $115,000 on the roof just to get children in there and it not be leaking on their heads. Hurricane Laura came, they spent $90,000 out of their own pocket, didn't make a claim with APSB. It's the same verbiage. The first page of the lease says, Avoyelles Parish School Board recognizes that the maintenance and insuring of those facilities is a financial and operational burden on Avoyelles Parish School Board that can be more efficiently managed and insured by entering into this agreement. We entered the lease agreement because we knew it was a financial and maintenance burden. That's why we did the lease with them. We were very thankful they took it over, and they've done a great job. Page 2, it goes on to say about the in-kind services or equivalent value. Item number 6 says, lessee accepts the premises in its current condition and agrees to maintain the premises in good condition after renovation and during the terms of the lease, and to return the premises to lessor in good condition at the termination of the lease, normal wear and tear expected. It's exactly what it says. There's no gray area. The next part of the lease that we go over is, I'm gonna highlight it a little more. So to me, all of that is very clear that it's not our responsibility. I wish we could be a charity, but it's not our money to give. It's the taxpayers' money. The student focus, we have no children in the building. I said it last time. We have repairs that need to be made. And unfortunately, the quality of work that was done on that roof is the quality of work that was done throughout our parish. We can all agree on that. And we have bubble gum and duct tape on different roofs that's coming up and we're gonna have to fix, and it's gonna affect children. And I cannot vote to put this on a private entity.
We just legally, according to this lease, can we even spend public funds on this in kind?
You can. The lease says that they're responsible for maintenance and upkeep, but it's your property. You can fix it if you want.
The only reason I ever considered it in the first place is that we got the insurance money to fix it. It was not fixed.
That's my question.
That's the only reason that I think we need to fix it once and for all, and from now on, their obligation.
Mr. Chairman, I think y'all kind of, it's our building, okay? We sell it, who gets the money? We do, they don't, okay? The next thing is we watched a place on 29 and 115 fall apart that we just finished selling for $110,000 that was appraised 2 years earlier. The Monkey Farm at 230 something or whatever it was, because we didn't take care of the property, number one. Number two, we had to get out of the Bunkie Middle School, okay, to be able to get the ballpark, so that what did we do? We had to drop a ton of money in that place to fix it up so that we could do that. And so we got rid of that place. So I think for $15,000, I think that would be a bad era of this board not to take care of a building. We've had other buildings that have fallen down, like in the Hesma High School, and had to be demolished because we didn't take care of a roof. So that's where I stand with it.
All right, any other comments? Hearing none, we shall vote. All in favor, raise your right hand at the tap of the gavel. 4. All right, all opposed? Like sign. 5. Vote is 4 to 5, the motion fails. I just want to be clear too on another matter. We've spent money, for instance, the concession stand at Monkey High School. We have not yet to this day received who authorized that, if it was a board member or who did that. They spent a fortune. Now I know kids are there, but still, we need to be consistent as to how we handle things for each community. We're not doing that.
Well, we need to be, I'm gonna add to that, we need to be consistent all the way around. I think we got rid of some of these properties that weren't, fiscally, you know, we need to look into getting rid of everything that we have that's not housing and teaching students. Look, I voted for it, I did, because I'm torn about it. I think, I've seen what if you don't repair something, what could happen later, and I don't want it to come to us later, and it's a $60,000 bill. But I see both sides. I do agree with Ms. Dupuy that, you know, we need to try to get rid of these monkeys on our back.
Seems like these in-kind agreements aren't working out very
They're
well
not.
either, the other way around.
Well, I'm gonna ask them to come on the agenda for January. They're not making money hand over fist. They're pulling in a lot of money, and it helps with the tax base of this parish, but there's a lot of other things that they do. When you mention in-kind services, you're
Oh,
gonna
they
be
do,
surprised.
they do.
And
I
I
if we
just
can
don't-
legally give them the
so-
building, I have no problem with
It's
that.
okay.
I just wanna say, you must not have ever had any nachos from that concession stand,
There's no concession stand there.
because you would know that, I'm talking about at Bunkie High.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
they were one game short of making it to the state championship game. That was a good investment, I just wanna say.
I'm gonna see you in red next
I'm
month,
not saying it
Miss
wasn't a
Small.
bad,
Maybe.
I wasn't saying it was a bad investment, but the way it was done. It's not the normal procedure that we do, the way we do things.
I will say that in January, Ray, help me now, I think it is January, those in-kind service reports are due. And you know, we have not gotten those for years and years and years and years, but Ray worked on those leases and started that. So in January, we should have a report on the in-kind services from our in-kind service leases. I think the only one we have that is private is Fifth Ward. I think the rest of them are intergovernmental agreements. We'll have to double check that. The other question that came up that I haven't gotten with Mary about to check on is insurance. We have not been sending bills to our lessees who are supposed to be reimbursing us for insurance. So I want you to all know we're fixing to take a look at all those leases again so that we can make sure we're doing what we're supposed to be doing, because we haven't consistently done that. And that only came up when when we started doing some work with Red River. So just know that we are still gonna do some work on these leases, and that we've still got some pieces to put together. But those in-kind service reports are due in January, and we can absolutely put those, we can put them in a newsletter, or we can put them on an agenda. We've gotta go back through our list to make sure we're getting them from who we're supposed to be getting them from.
Mr. Lehman.
All right.
Well, I know you just stated that you was gonna put this back on the agenda in
No.
January.
No,
Not
You
this,
didn't?
I probably won't have
Well,
to.
get
She
them
said
to
they're
come.
gonna do a report in January,
The in-kind service reports are due in January.
so we won't need
Okay.
to have them.
Well, I was just gonna add, I would like to see like those numbers, but I'm pretty sure it'll be on that report then.
Jack,
So
do you
that's
remember,
fine.
Ray, when they're due? Are they due the end of January?
They are
It
due in
says in the
January.
lease.
But you gotta remember with most of them, with the
I don't know what we spent
valuation
over
that
that
they
thus
put in
far.
there for grass mowing and upkeep,
'Cause we spent
they
too much.
basically meet it if
It's
they
very
simply
low.
mowing the grass. I mean, really,
I'd like to
that
give
pretty
it
well
to 'em.
takes
I
care
wish
of
we
it.
could, you know, just, I'd like them just to buy it.
Okay, item number 20, recommendation to accept the bid from Johnson Lawn Services in the amount of $11,400 to restripe the central office parking lot and to put the stops. Mr. Ray, funded by indirect cost.
This was, tonight was a perfect example. I'm sure if some of y'all went outside, just happened to. It was pretty chaotic outside with the parking and all that. I think this just came from, that they just wanted to, most of the parking striping is non-existent anymore. And they just wanted to try to bring some organization to that, to where people would know where to park and not to park, so that on these big nights, it'd be a little bit more organized and people could get in and out.
You can discuss this last month as well?
You did, it was 3 items. Some of us felt like three members were not here, and some of us felt like that we didn't necessarily, we thought we erred in the fact that we wanted to put that on a needs assessment when we need things at our schools. We would hate to cut things that we need at the schools to put it's the same way with the lights across the street. I mean, that would help that school,
So,
but,
so is this
but I'm
gonna
talking
come,
about the parking lot.
is this gonna come off the school board? Would this come off of, the school board would have to pay for this, their,
This won't short a
needs
school is what
assessment?
he's asking.
I understand that, but if the school board office gets X amount of dollars from needs assessment, if we don't do this, would that money be taken away?
From the school?
Yes, from the school board.
It would,
The school board's got their own needs assessment money,
The school-
right?
That would-
Every school, the school board, correct?
That would be up to the needs assessment committee.
I got you.
That would be, cause you know, y'all, everybody gets the opportunity to fill out that form and send those recommendations in.
Yeah.
And you know, we prioritize those. I don't know, Thelma, I don't even know whose turn it is this spring. We haven't looked yet, but it would be it's 3 of y'all and then it's a handful of us.
Right.
It would be that committee's recommendation
So
to
like
the full board.
Like the next one that comes up is gonna be Marksville Tennis Court, correct? That's the next one on here.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So if we don't fund this through indirect cost, it's gonna come away from their money, correct? That they would get on needs assessment, correct?
Well, if you choose to fund it through needs assessment, typically what we did last year was used multiple funding sources
Okay.
to cover what we needed to do, and needs assessment was a funding source.
Right.
But we felt like we were very strategic in how we spent that money, and so that would be back up to the committee. Do we believe this is a legitimate
Safety.
project? Yeah, a
Safety concern.
legitimate piece
So who
that
put
has
this
to
on
be.
here? Mr. Ray, you did? Or Ms. Tudor, y'all got that?
We've had multiple
I got you.
people, yeah.
Got
Now, the city has agreed to help us with this.
Okay.
We just don't have numbers yet because we didn't realize it was coming back up
And you have
this month.
and you have a funding source.
Wait, the
Indirect
parking lot?
cost.
Indirect cost.
No, she's jumping to the tennis.
Okay,
I'm
okay.
jumping to the,
But you're
oh, I'm
talking
sorry,
about
I'm jumping to the tennis courts.
You're
I
talking
am.
about- Okay.
That we know the city, because after the last meeting, we thought these 2 items were saved for needs assessment. Then we did a little bit of work, but we knew needs assessment wasn't gonna be until into January, early February. So because these were pushed to needs assessment, we didn't put them on our top front burners, right? They got pushed to the backside. So we've not done any additional work on these because we understood it would come back to being all that funding we discussed as a part of needs assessment.
I'm gonna make that motion, Mr. President, that we accept the low bid of $11,400 to strike the parking lot.
Second.
Made by Mr. Robin.
Well,
Uh,
it says this is not the low bid.
It is not the low bid.
Oh,
We have two,
This was the best
the best
of
bid.
it.
what's the-
best option.
What does that mean, Mr. Ray?
This one included a lot more for very close to the same price. One was the bumper stops, cleaning, this is a really good bid.
One was literally just striping.
Right.
And for $1,000 more, Ray, double check my math.
Right.
I think it was $1,000 more.
It is.
They're
That's
gonna fix
exactly
the
right.
bumper stripes. They're gonna fix those bumper
Stops. Yeah,
stops.
bumper
Those
stops.
concrete things.
So
They're
I'll
gonna
make that motion that we accept
clean
this
it.
bid.
All right, made by Robin, seconded by Jay. Any further discussion? Ms. Amy?
Mr. Lynn, my whole point last time to putting it off to the needs assessment was because of the ultimate popcorn shed happening. I feel like this is a popcorn shed popping up in the middle of the year, and it's hard for us to balance a budget, and we had discussed a board as a whole, we wouldn't add pet projects in the middle of the year, we would put everything on needs assessment. That's why I thought it was a good idea to table it next month till then, so we could get funded and the needs assessment go over it. That was my whole point.
Mr. President, I have a question.
Well, my whole point is I didn't want to take it away from the schools, so it's left to y'all, it's left to the board.
I just have a
Jill?
quick question. Mr. Ray, do you find that this warrants a safety issue enough where we need to have it done? It needs to jump the line? I'm just asking your opinion. I'm not holding you to anything.
Well, you've been having it for how long? And we haven't had any fender benders out here. Does that say that the next time you have them out here, you won't?
I just don't want to set a precedence where we do this, we kind of like pick and choose. I'm all for it and I know it needs to be done. It's like we set a
inconsistent.
baseline, we're inconsistent, right? And then sometimes we do this, but if you tell me it's a safety concern, it needs to be done now, I can get on board with
You'd be
that.
surprised at the things that I get sent to me, and the first thing people say is, this is a safety concern, because what everybody thinks that pushes it to the top. So,
Kinda does.
are they parking all over the place out here? Sure. We haven't had an issue, but it is an issue to be dealt with sometime along the way, and that's just up to you to decide.
One more statement and we can vote. On the record, this will not take away from funding on a campus for a student, correct? Are you telling me that on the record?
I'm telling you that if you do it now, it will come from indirect cost. And indirect cost is money we are going to need for things. We know we're gonna have to do a roof at Bucky High School. We know we're fixing to build a new building, a new CTE piece. We know those pieces are out there. It's not as clean as no, it won't take away. I can tell you that
One of the.
well, I don't like adding projects. Y'all have heard me say this. I think we should have a strategic plan in how we fund and how we fix things. And I think this is one of those things that we should handle when we handle all those other pieces in the whole grand scope of what it is we're doing as a part of needs assessment, regardless of the funding source.
And I made the motion, but my question was, if somebody put it up there 4 weeks ago.
Why was it ever put on there then?
Yeah.
Oh,
If
because
we
we've
didn't-
talked about it. Chris and I've talked about it. It was a part of a discussion.
Well, then-
This was years, this was a
It's
long
been
time
a part
ago.
of a
So
discussion
it was put on there,
regularly.
and y'all got a funding source, so that's why I'm making the motion to pay for it, for us to approve it.
We need to vote.
Yeah, y'all, finance, y'all just have to
But even
decide.
putting this on needs assessment is not gonna take away from a school. Cause they still have a chunk for that. The schools have a chunk for theirs. It's not gonna take away from the schools.
Whether it's now or
Bites.
later.
You know, whether it's on needs assessment or
We
not.
have to, you just got too
Just to
much
be
money to
clear on
spend.
that.
Okay, whatever y'all think. We have a motion and a second. We need to vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed nay.
Yeah, which Caligari seconded it.
Okay, it would be
And I'm not
8 to
against
1.
fixing the parking lot, I'm just against fixing it at this
Now.
time until needs assessment.
All right, item number 21, recommendation to accept the bid from Gibco in the amount of $26,537 to replace the tennis courts lights across at Marksville, funded by indirect cost. Mr. Ray?
Just like I told you last time, the cross arms on the lights and a lot of the electrical wiring are shot. I mean, literally one fell off over there. When you decide to fix it, it's just up to y'all, but it's got to be fixed somewhere along the line.
So
There's
if
no
you go
question
needs
about it.
assessment next year,
Don't put it
Sure.
on me.
Spring.
We got bigger issues.
Now, I will tell you, it's not gonna cost this amount because the city of Marksville is gonna help us.
Can we find out how much
Well,
before?
absolutely.
Are you even gonna go ask them?
We've
It
already
shouldn't
asked
affect
them.
tennis
We know
practice,
they've
does it?
went on the
agreed
agenda
to
this
help
week.
us.
They
Do what?
talked about it this week at their meeting.
Did they?
Really?
Yes, they did bring it up this week.
Did they give an amount?
I had told the mayor how much it was, and I said, you know, hey, if you would just consider going halves with us. Now, I'm not saying that he is gonna do that, but I did ask
Oh,
him.
okay. Did he tell you if it passed when you spoke with him this week?
Oh, no.
So he
I-
didn't tell you that?
He did not.
Oh. Well, we don't
No,
know.
now, where is Thelma? Thelma did speak to the mayor, and he did agree to help us with the project. We just thought since y'all pushed it back to needs assessment, we didn't do any additional work on it in terms of amounts and all of that. So we absolutely can get with the city and see what they agreed to pay, and then we just will pick up the difference.
And I'll say what I said last time, this is my constituents that have been calling about the tennis court lights. And I called them when it came up on the agenda, when you went out and looked and got the price, and I said, can y'all wait till needs assessment? Because they have other ideas besides just the lights, and that's a whole nother, so, they were okay with waiting. So that's why we also made a motion to put that on needs assessment.
And when we say needs assessment, are we saying coming out of like how we allot the school so much money. This is Marksville High, and we're gonna take 14,000 for the lights.
Y'all
Not
will have,
necessarily.
y'all
No,
will
I'm
have to
asking.
That's
decide where it
exactly
comes.
what
There's
the
different
way
funding
it'll be.
sources in
Well,
this assessment.
and that's why I would assume, and I hate to butt in, but that's why I'm assuming they're gonna put that money together for needs assessment in Marksville or Marksville Elementary or Effie, LaFar are gonna lose money if we don't fund it this way. That's what I believe.
I have a hard time
Not
putting stripes in a
necessarily.
parking lot and telling a kid they can't have a light. But anyway, I get what, but I get it.
Principal and the committee decide.
I'll make that motion, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, we have a motion by Mr. Robin. Do we have a second? Seconded by who? Mr. Keith.
Look on.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
I'm gonna nay also because not against it, but just at the timing.
All right, the vote is 7-2 in favor of.
Yeah, and just to be clear, I'd say Nathan's, I'd like to know what they want to, how much they want to help.
We will see if
Well,
we can.
we can
get
make
that.
it pending on, or can we? No.
Oh, we will get those numbers. We just
mean, it's fine.
didn't
I-
follow up
Add
because
to the motion.
You follow the.
But didn't you say they wanted to do more than what was put down there? So maybe that's where the more comes in with the city of Marksville.
we will absolutely see what they will pay and then we can work from that.
All right, item number 22.
Wait.
Mr. Lynn,
He said he was bringing it before the meeting.
But you never found out if
No,
it
I can
passed
follow
or
up.
not.
I can follow up.
They had their meeting this week.
Wednesday. They had it Wednesday night. It was on the agenda.
It was on the agenda. Do you know what,
I don't know what it's called.
oh, I'll call it tomorrow.
maybe we should have taken.
All right, item number 22, recommendation to accept the bid of $6,500 from Doug Dufour to clean up and haul off everything in Lot 41 on Old River, Mr. Ray.
Okay, this one right here, we have, and I'm glad Derek's here, he was with me, we went, before Judge Bennett and got a notice of eviction on this property. This particular property, I'm trying to think of the best way to say this without saying it, that
It's terrible.
the person that's there, if I don't get her out and get it tore down, she's gonna end up right back in there again. It's already happened. So the best thing for me is that once we get her out, literally Dude is gonna go in there and he's got the equipment in 1 day's time, it's gonna be gone. Everything there, there will be nothing left.
Mr. President, I'll make the motion to accept the low bid of $6,500 from Duke Dufour to clean up and haul off everything on Lot 41 Old River. As long as it's done, if we have an eviction notice, it was done
Right
properly.
here,
Okay.
if y'all need to see that.
No,
And I'll second that.
Yeah.
I'll second it, Mr. Chairman. And that is paid for, you said, by FFA Federation funds?
Well, no, I put on this
Yes.
because at the time, wait, what does it say on here?
It says it's
She came quick to
It is
say that.
FFA
Oh,
funds.
Carrie, you changed.
Yeah.
So,
She got me on that one.
so if we are going
I
to.
love that, by the way.
So when we talk about properties now, I want y'all to understand that, okay?
Yeah, if we are gonna invest money in leases, then we need to invest it from the money where the lease money goes.
And when the money goes in, that's that account, but when money goes in general fund for other leases, like some of the things we saw today, are we taking that, but is it earmarked that we're taking that money and fixing up those leases or not? I'd like to see some of that at some point in time.
Ms. Mary.
Rental revenues in the Old River section, and it was last year, drawing was $97,000. You had said it was around 50, but I just,
How much, 97?
97.
$97,000 for last year.
And this one right here, when it's cleaned,
Somebody will lease
I may
it.
be wrong, but I think
Yeah,
in 2 or 3 months, it'll be leased.
And that's fine that we're using that for a funding source, because they're making the money off of it.
That's
But I
what
wanna
we're,
make sure everybody else,
Mr.
when
Ray,
we
good
have
job on
properties,
keeping
we're
up
doing
with
the
these
same
properties.
thing.
Well,
Thank you. It's amazing.
Okay, we have a motion by Ms. Gill, seconded by Mr. Robin.
Yes.
Any, you need to say
No,
something?
no, I'll just have one thing to say after we vote on this.
All right, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Ayes have it, the motion passes.
Mr. Chairman, before we, I'll make the motion to adjourn. Before we adjourn, we talked about having a little meeting with ag teachers and stuff. Did you talk to Ms. Tudor about that?
No, I haven't.
Okay, we have a
Okay.
meeting with ag teachers set up as well.
When
What
is
day
yours?
is that?
I don't have my calendar with me. I believe it is the Friday we come back after January. We come back in January and we have staff development on a Monday and a Tuesday. Somebody help me with a calendar. What's the Friday? The 10th.
Okay,
That would work.
okay.
2 o'clock, I'm thinking it is 2
I
o'clock.
was requesting that the board members be allowed to, meet with them
Mhm.
to see about the intentions we have going on, because we're talking about, the place over there by the youth center that came up. We're talking about their property that they have, that we had something we were gonna build on
You talking about at Old River?
at Old River. So, we need to communicate with them. I think we had set up a committee and we never followed through. I think we had.
Yeah.
And we never got
Well,
together with that.
you did
so-
that at the last meeting, and so we have, Jay, have we gotten the information about that money?
I don't have any information on that.
Oh, no, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about to meet with them.
Well, they don't know anything because we haven't gotten anything
No,
official on
no,
the
ma'am.
money.
We're talking about, we tore down the FFA camp.
Oh, you're talking about the FFA?
Yes,
camp.
ma'am.
Oh, no,
Yes,
we
ma'am.
have not
And-
had any discussion.
And we haven't established as to, we need their opinion about
On
the
what to
thing.
do about the FFA
Yeah.
camp? Oh, I
Yeah,
got
because
you.
it's
Yes, ma'am.
it's earmarked for
We can put that on our,
Yes, ma'am.
FFA
We can
Federation.
do that. So I'll make
Yes.
the motion to adjourn.
and y'all will be at that meeting?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Okay,
every
good.
board member.
Other board members welcome, but Robin and I will.
That wants to.
Okay, I can't have I can't have a quorum,
Oh, you can't?
okay? I can only have
And
four.
I don't remember who was on the ad hoc.
I have a question.
Yeah, I have a question about that too, Mr. Lynn.
Just to talk, just to talk.
It'll be later. It's
No,
fine.
go ahead.
That's all it is.
All right.
Not voting on
But I
anything.
can't, I still think there are rules. I can double check that.
Let's adjourn and we can talk
It
about this.
probably is
Yes,
against the rules.
Well, Robin and I would like to meet with them, and if any other board member would like to, we can have up to 5.
Four.
Four.
We adjourn, Mr. Chairman.
Moved by Mr. Robin, do we have a second? Seconded by Ms. Jill.
Right.
All in favor?
Aye.
Just FYI,